Wisdom will come, my friend.
Throughout history, thinkers tried to understand what it means to live wisely.
In Greece, Socrates insisted that wisdom begins when a person admits how little they truly know. In China, Laozi described wisdom as moving with the natural flow of life, rather than forcing it. The Stoics believed wisdom came from accepting what cannot be controlled. And modern philosophers see wisdom as the ability to navigate an unpredictable universe with clarity and calm. Though separated by time and culture, each thinker pointed toward the same idea. Wisdom is not knowledge. It is perspective. From the beginning of civilization, human beings looked at the world around them and wondered why things are the way they are. They questioned nature, questioned themselves, and questioned the invisible patterns guiding existence. They realized that life is too complex to understand through information alone. Instead, they searched for something deeper. A steady mind, a clear vision, an inner compass. This is what they called wisdom. In ancient Greece, wisdom was tied to self-understanding. Socrates walked the streets of Athens asking questions that peeled away illusions. To him, a wise person was not someone who claimed to know the universe. A wise person was someone who recognized the limits of their own mind. Socrates believed this humility opened the door to clearer thinking, calmer judgment, and a more meaningful life. He taught that wisdom is less about having answers and more about asking better questions. Even today, his method reminds people that certainty can blind them, while curiosity can set them free. Meanwhile, across the world in ancient China, thinkers approached wisdom through the harmony of nature. Laozi observed the effortless order of rivers, mountains, and seasons. He saw that nature never hurries, yet everything is accomplished. To him, wisdom meant aligning with this quiet rhythm. It meant letting actions arise naturally, without resistance or force. He believed that people suffer when they fight the natural flow of events, and grow wiser when they learn to move with it. This perspective teaches that sometimes, the most powerful action is stillness, and the wisest choice is simplicity. Another influential tradition came from the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca lived in a world filled with uncertainty, political tension, and personal hardship. Yet they believed a person can find peace even in chaos. To them, wisdom meant separating what can be controlled from what cannot. They taught that fear, anger, and anxiety often come from trying to control the uncontrollable. A wise person focuses on their own character, choices, and responses, not on external events. This clarity strengthens the mind and allows a person to face the unpredictable nature of life with calm determination. According to the Stoics, wisdom is not about escaping difficulties but meeting them with a steady heart. While these traditions developed independently, they shared a similar realization: the universe is vast, unpredictable, and indifferent to human expectations. Wisdom, therefore, is the art of navigating it gracefully. It is the ability to remain balanced when circumstances change, to see clearly when emotions rise, and to understand oneself even when life feels uncertain. As civilizations matured, thinkers continued expanding their ideas of wisdom. In ancient India, philosophers explored the nature of the mind itself. They observed how thoughts appear and disappear, how emotions influence perception, and how the human mind often mistakes temporary experiences for permanent truths. They believed wisdom involved seeing reality without distortion and recognizing that everything changes and that clarity comes from understanding impermanence. Though their conclusions varied, they all agreed on one point: the mind can either be a source of confusion or a source of insight. Wisdom is what transforms it. As centuries passed, new thinkers emerged with fresh perspectives. During the Renaissance, philosophers looked to the universe with renewed curiosity. They questioned old ideas, challenged rigid traditions, and embraced exploration. They believed wisdom was linked to human potential. The capacity to learn, to grow, to question, and to expand knowledge without fear. Their work sparked revolutions in science, art, and thought, showing that wisdom evolves as human understanding expands. Later, modern philosophers examined wisdom through the lens of the individual. They focused on identity, choice, and the experience of existence. Some argued that a wise person creates meaning through their actions. Others emphasized freedom, responsibility, and authenticity. They suggested that wisdom is not something a person receives, but something they develop over a lifetime through reflection and experience. Throughout all these cultures and centuries, wisdom had many forms. Yet it always pointed toward the same themes: clarity, balance, perspective, and understanding. One recurring idea is the importance of observing life without judgment. Many thinkers believe that reactions cloud perception. A calm mind, on the other hand, sees patterns clearly. Whether walking through the streets of Athens, meditating under a tree, or studying the stars, philosophers noticed that insight emerges when the mind grows quiet. Wisdom, therefore, requires space. The space to reflect, to question, and to understand. Another idea is the connection between wisdom and humility. Across cultures, the wisest figures were rarely the loudest or most confident. Instead, they were the ones who acknowledged their limits. They understood that the universe is larger than any one viewpoint. This humility protected them from arrogance and allowed them to learn continuously. It taught them that wisdom is not a destination but a practice. A final idea shared across time is the importance of seeking harmony. Harmony with oneself, with others, and with the world. Philosophers observe that when people fight themselves, they suffer. When they ignore their values, they feel lost. When they disconnect from others, they lose perspective. Wisdom, therefore, is the ability to maintain inner balance even when outer circumstances shift. It is the ability to act with integrity, to listen deeply, and to move through life with awareness. Across thousands of years, wisdom was never about perfection. It was never about knowing everything or controlling everything. Instead, it was about learning how to live. It was about understanding the mind, observing the world, and discovering one's place within it. It was about recognizing that life is both simple and complex, both fragile and resilient, both unpredictable and full of possibilities. In every era, thinkers agreed that wisdom takes time and patience. It comes through experience, through reflection, and through curiosity. It grows with every challenge, every mistake, and every moment of clarity. And even the wisest individuals remained students of life, always learning, always questioning, always evolving. So, what did the ancient world believe about wisdom? They believed it was the compass guiding human beings through uncertainty. They believed it created peace in a world filled with chaos. They believed it allowed people to understand themselves and the universe more deeply. And above all, they believed wisdom was possible for anyone who sought it. Today, these ideas still echo. Modern lives may differ from ancient ones, but the search for clarity remains the same. People still face uncertainty, still seek meaning, still search for inner strength. And the teachings of the past continue to offer guidance, not as rules to follow, but as perspectives to consider. The ancient world reminds us that wisdom is not a secret held by a chosen few. It is a path open to anyone who pays attention, anyone who reflects, anyone who chooses to grow. In the end, wisdom is not about the answers we collect, but the understanding we develop. Not about the universe outside of us, but the perspective we cultivate within. It is the quiet force that shapes how a person sees, thinks, and lives. And across history, that has always been enough.